Hi friends, welcome back. So today I'm going to be making some freezer cookies. So this is just the cookie doughs that'll go in the freezer, and then it makes it really easy for you just to take them out, put them on a cookie sheet, and bake them up in the oven. This also means that you can make a large batch of cookies and you don't have to cook them all, and then you don't have to worry about eating them all before they go bad or go stale. So we're gonna work on that today. I have 3 recipes here. We got a pistachio cookie recipe. I like pistachio, so this one is more for me. And then we got a chewy peanut butter cookie. These are my husband's favorites. And then I am gonna try out Becky's brown butter chocolate chip cookie that she makes over on her channel on Acre Homestead all the time. So I'm gonna give these a try. I've never really thought about browning the butter before you make a cookie. I could definitely see how that could enhance the flavor, give it a little bit more nuttiness. So I'm interested to try and see how well these work out. So if I like it well enough, I may end up doing it with all cookies, which I'm sure you could do. All right, so let's just get started with these cookies. I think I'm gonna have to start off by taking some more butter out of the freezer. I've only got 3 sticks here. And these are half a cup each. So I need a whole cup of butter for the brown butter cookies, a half a cup for the peanut butter, and 3/4 of a cup for the pistachio. Well, friends, I am down to my last pound of butter, so I'm definitely gonna have to pick that up on my grocery haul this next week. Let's get these pulled out here. And it does request that, at least for the peanut butter cookies, that the stick is softened. I'm going to assume for both the pistachio and the peanut butter cookies, they're going to need to be softened. So let's just go ahead and get on with this peanut butter cookie. All right. So I don't already have them pre-softened. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get a container out to put it in the microwave for just a couple seconds. And it says half a cup unsalted. I only buy unsalted because I like to be able to control the amount of salt in my food. Okay. All right, I've got my trash can over here on standby. We do have eggs going in these, so I will have the shells to compost. Got butter wrappers to throw away. There's not a lot when it comes to making cookies that's going to be wasteful. So let's just try this. That is almost there. I think I'm gonna give it another 10 seconds. Okay. All right, let's look at some of these other ingredients here. 3/4 cup of peanut butter, 3/4 cup brown sugar, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1 egg, 1½ teaspoon pure vanilla, 1 1/3 cup unbleached flour, 3/4 teaspoon baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and sea salt. So let's get that baking soda and baking powder out right quick. I gotta go get some baking soda out of my back food storage, which is out in my garage at the moment. So give me just a moment. All right, friends, there we are. There is my baking soda. I just used a mason jar. This is a lid that is no longer cannable, but they're still good for storage purposes. So, and then here is my baking powder. I do get the aluminum free one. All right, that is for the most part everything we need for this recipe. Okay. Okay. Okay, so it starts off soften butter, microwave for 20 seconds, additional 5 seconds if butter is needed. Okay, that is good. Add peanut butter, brown sugar, and mix until smooth. Add egg and vanilla. All right, so we're gonna get started on this. We're gonna add the butter. Now I do have an older KitchenAid mixer, so it will probably be a little noisy, just to let you know. I'll go ahead and set this to the side over here. 3/4 cup peanut butter. 1/4 a cup granulated sugar. Alright, let's see. That's a third. Where's my 1/4? It's a half. There is my 1/4 cup. Okay. So we've got, I'm sorry, my kitchen is super small, and trying to bake in a small kitchen is not fun because there's never any space here. So, but you make it work, which is what we do. We're going to make this work. Fourth of a cup of regular sugar, and then I just need 3/4 cup of creamy peanut butter. So this has separated the oil and the peanut butter just a little bit. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a mix. And of course, I am using my favorite small silicone spatula. And like always, I'm not cooking or baking unless I'm making a mess. But that's okay. Because it all gets clean in the end. There is a 1/4. Then half. 3/4. Yep. I literally bought peanut butter just for this recipe because these are my husband's favorite cookies. We don't really eat peanut butter any other time. I did make sure and get the one that doesn't have any added like extra ingredients. This literally is just peanuts and salt. All right. So peanut butter, sugar, brown sugar, and butter. And then we're going to mix until smooth. I'm gonna get a plate out here. Put my utensils warm. All right, that looks good. So now we've got an egg. So I'm using Bantam chicken eggs. So just so you know, these are smaller eggs. So it's gonna take me 2 Bantam eggs equals 1 regular egg. So these have been washed. I'm trying to use them up. I also give them to my dog. So 1 egg. And then we have vanilla. It calls for 1.5 teaspoons. Now, if you are using actual vanilla extract, then like the McCormick brand or whatever, you're going to want to follow that. However, if you make your own vanilla extract, it's going to be much richer in flavor. And so I'm probably only going to put 1 teaspoon in versus 1.5 teaspoons. Because it will have a stronger flavor. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get that mixed together. That looks good. So it does say sift your flour. I am not baking a cake. It is not going to be lofty. These are cookies. I will not take the time to sift flour unless it is a very specific recipe that needs to turn out a very certain way. Cookies are not that case. So we are going to get this in here. So we're going to do our flour, which calls for 1 1/3 bleached flour. This is just regular all-purpose flour. Now I know where it's at. Okay. Just put 1 cup. And then a 1/3 cup. Okay. And then we have 3/4 teaspoon baking soda and a 1/2 teaspoon baking powder. So 1/2 teaspoon. No, I'm sorry, that's a tablespoon. 1 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon. 1/2 teaspoon baking powder. Where's my 3/4? And then this is a 1/2. Baking soda and a 1/4. Oh, there we go. And then I am just going to take my butter knife here that I used to scrape the top of my, and I'm just going to mix that around so it's well incorporated into that flour. And now I'm only going to add about half of this in here first. And I am going to kind of mix it around in there with my spatula. And what did I say? It's not my kitchen and I'm not cooking unless I'm making a mess. All right, that's a good start. Now we're going to turn this on and it's going to mix. Okay. I am going to add some salt. Even though these are peanut butter cookies and that peanut butter has salt in them, I am going to add some salt. Okay. I'm going to mix this a little bit more now that I got all that scraped off of the bottom. the peanut butter cookies are done. So we are going to let these chill while we get the pistachio ones going. So let me go ahead and grab a bowl to put these in, and then of course we'll make sure and put some saran wrap over the top. Actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to use a container. So look at that beautiful peanut butter dough. I'm very happy with that. Smells wonderful. Now, I am not that huge of a fan of peanut butter cookies. I especially do not like the way they smell when they're baking. And I don't know why, but I don't. They're just not, I'm not allergic to peanuts or anything like that. I just, for whatever reason, they just smell strange to me. All right, we're gonna chill this for just the amount of time it takes us to put together the next round. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna scoop these out onto a cookie sheet and flash freeze them in the freezer. And then we can just put them on a cookie sheet to bake them whenever we want to, anytime we want to. So let's get these chilling. All right, so moving on, that's our peanut butter cookies. Let's do our pistachio now. This is 3/4 cup butter, 3/4 cup brown sugar. Okay, so I am going to need to have this slightly softened. So I'm going to grab my butter container here. And we're going to put in 1. Love butter. And knife here, 3/4. So that's a half and then a quarter. All right, we're gonna pop these in the microwave and soften them up a little bit, just like we did with the last ones. All right, in the meantime, let's get our sugar together here. So 3/4 cup white sugar. All right, friends, I'm just gonna eyeball this because I haven't washed my peanut butter ones yet. So there you go. And since these cookies are mostly gonna be for me, I'm okay if there's less sugar in them. In fact, I will probably only do about a half a cup of the brown sugar. There we go. Got a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to go ahead and add some salt to this. One egg. And 3/4 cup butter. That is almost done. All right, so back in this bowl, wipe that rim off for the peanut butter. And we're gonna do 1 3/4 cup flour. So I'm gonna make another alteration of this recipe. To cut down on the carb load of this, I'm only gonna use 1 cup regular flour, and then I'm gonna use 3/4 of a cup of almond flour. So. Take that back. I'm out of almond flour. I'm going to use coconut flour. There we go. There is our butter, nice and softened. that together. All right, we have our flour together. Now we're gonna add a teaspoon of baking powder, salt, which I've already added, pistachios, and white chocolate chips. So, baking powder, half of a teaspoon, here is our pistachios. I went ahead and already crushed them. That wasn't quite a correct measurement. However, I like pistachios, so we're going to go with a little extra. And then a half a cup of chocolate chips. So again, I'm only going to add half of the dry mixture to the wet. I am going to stir it manually first. You do not have to do this step, but I do find it helps me, especially when I have such a small mixer. All right, that looks good. We're going to go ahead and turn it back on. I'm going to do a little dishes here while that's mixing. Get these measuring cups washed for these brown butter cookies. All right, that's starting to look really good. Let's go ahead and scrape it down on the sides. This one for sure will need to be refrigerated before scooping. This is a very soft dough. It has a lot more butter in it. You would think that the peanut butter cookies with the peanut butter in it would be softer, but it actually isn't. Yeah, these are good to go for refrigeration. And that dough looks beautiful also. You can see just the hint of green in there from the pistachios and then the little white chocolate chips in there. This looks amazing. So we're gonna get that in a container and put it in the refrigerator to chill also. right, friends, that is our second cookie dough. That is super easy and really fast. Okay, friends, I'm standing here thinking about this, and Becky's brown butter chocolate chip cookie recipe, that is probably more than I really want to make, considering I am making 2 other cookies today. So I did go ahead and write down a half recipe on here. So you can see here along the side here, I've halved the amounts of all of these, and I wrote on here that this is a half recipe. So we're only going to do a half recipe instead of a whole recipe for this. So I only need 1 stick of butter, which is a half a cup, instead of a full cup of butter. So we're going to go ahead and get that on the stove. I do have a gas stove. I'm going to put that over medium heat. And we are going to have to really watch this butter so that it doesn't burn. I could do this in a smaller pan, but these are my favorite, and it does say a heavy bottom pan, and I feel like this is going to be my best one that I have on hand that's going to work for it. All right. So it says, in a heavy bottom pan, melt butter. Once the butter is melted and the crackling stops, watch very closely and stir occasionally because the butter can burn easily. Cook until brown and smells nutty. Pour brown butter into another bowl. Add white and brown sugar, stir until combined, then add eggs, vanilla, and set. Butter sugar mix is fully cooled. So this is going to take a couple extra steps. Hopefully this cookie recipe will be worth it. Becky makes these all the time on Acre Homestead, and they absolutely love them. So I'm really, really, really interested in trying this one. I hope they're as good as she makes them out to be. So we're gonna find out today. We are going to find out. All right, I'm gonna use just a regular, larger wooden handled silicone spatula for this. I feel like it'll be better. Now this butter is coming from frozen, so it's going to take a bit for it to melt. All right, friends, as it's melting and as it gets close, I'm going to bring you back in. But for right now, I'm going to worry about other things. Okay, friends, so this is sizzling. This didn't take long for it to melt. You should be able to hear that crackling sound. So when that crackling stops, then we've really got to watch it. I am stirring this a little bit in order to make sure nothing burns on the bottom. Now this butter is already changing colors, so I'm very interested. And it smells wonderful. So we still got some crackling we can hear. So okay, friends, that didn't take nearly as long as I thought it was going to take. That was really, really fast. So I just turned the heat off. I do have a nice little golden color in the bottom of this. So this is actually a very similar process, or the same process, to clarify butter. And what you're doing in order to make brown butter, or when you clarify butter, is you are separating the milk fat solids from the whey, which is the more liquidy stuff. And that's actually what's getting toasted and browned up, is the milk protein, the protein solids in the butter. All right, I'm gonna get a metal bowl out here. Going to scoop this up, or pour this out. It definitely has a nutty flavor to it, kind of like not like a super strong one, but it definitely, you kind of get that aroma, that feel from it. So all right, I'm gonna pour this up in this bowl. right, there we go. Oh, that looks delicious. All right, so the recipe says to the butter you want to add your eggs, vanilla, and sugar. So your white and brown sugar. Okay. So here is my white sugar, and I need 1/4 of a cup of white sugar and 3/4 cup brown sugar. Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, y'all guys can't see that. Let me tilt you down a little bit. All right, so there's our sugar mixture. There's our sugar. And then I still need to add in the eggs and the vanilla. There's our vanilla. And now for the eggs. Okay. So I'm adding 1 egg and 1 egg yolk, which is a little bit easier considering that these are bantam eggs. So it's going to be closer to 1/2 of an egg yolk if I was truly splitting the recipe with the eggs. So. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're going to mix these together while that butter is still warm, and then we get to set this aside and let it cool fully. I'll tell you what, that brown butter mixed in with this mixture definitely gives it a much richer smell to it. I cannot wait. I can't iterate how excited I am for these cookies. All right, friends, that is completely mixed together now. We are gonna let that sit. I'm gonna set a timer for 30-ish minutes. This is a metal bowl, so it should cool kind of quickly. And I'll be back with you to mix in the dry ingredients and the chocolate chips. And I think what I'm gonna do, since I did go ahead and half this batch, I have a little bit of walnut pieces left over. I'm gonna add those into the cookies. Me and my husband do like nuts, and I really like nuts in my chocolate chip cookies, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take it to the next level, and we're gonna put walnut pieces into these chocolate chip cookies since I did half this recipe. So let's set that timer. All right, 30 minutes. I will see you in 30 minutes. All right, so I've got my nice little cookie scoop here. If y'all don't use cookie scoops for your cookies, you really should. Definitely need to consider that. Oh yeah, this is set up just perfectly. It's still very pliable, but it has definitely chilled enough to not be overly soft. And I am not going to bake on this right now. I am just putting these on here to put in the freezer. This is going to make a ton of cookies, so I will not have to make cookies for a while. And I love this. It beats store-bought cookies any day of the week. And you know exactly how much sugar and whatnot goes into these every time. No unnecessary oils or processed stuff. Just wholesome ingredients that you know what are. And you know what? They always make for better cookies. Let me see. These are going to go in the freezer. I'm going to try and put both the peanut butter ones and the pistachio ones on the same cookie sheet to save some space. right, now the rest of what's in this little container here, which isn't a lot, I'm actually going to save these to make tonight. There's probably 3 or 4 cookies in this. And this will give us a chance to try these pistachio cookies. Now, I do not expect these pistachio cookies to bake up fully like regular cookies, because I did add the coconut flour instead of all of the regular flour to them. So we will see how they actually turn out. But I knew that going in that they would be a little different than our regular cookies. All right. The dough tastes really good though. Okay. Not that I recommend eating cookie dough, especially if you're using fresh eggs, because fresh eggs haven't been pasteurized like store-bought eggs. Still want to leave a little bit of space between those so they're easy to break apart. Okay. These peanut butter cookies are a bit drier than what I really expected. They're supposed to be soft and chewy, but I also know peanut butter cookies tend to be on the drier side anyway, just because they're peanut butter cookies. I am gonna, on these peanut butter cookies, since they are a little bit drier, I am gonna kind of mash these together, hold together. There we go. Does anybody else remember being in elementary school and in high school how they used to sell those tubs of pre-made cookie dough as fundraisers? I remember having to go from door to door to sell those in my neighborhood for, I think it was choir. And back then I was super shy and I did not like to have to do that. All right, I think the rest of this cookie dough will be good for peanut butter cookies that we're gonna bake up here in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and get these in the freezer. All right. All right, so all that's left is the chocolate chip cookies. I'm gonna wait for those to freeze and the others to set up a little bit, and then we will get those made up. Just trying to press this peanut butter cookie dough back together here since it was super crumbly. There we go. Let me grab my other container out here. All right, the last little bit is going to give me about 3 cookies, which is going to be fine since I am making the other 2 also today to cook up and bake to try. I know the peanut butter cookies will be fine. My husband loves pretty much all peanut butter cookies, so I'm not too worried about them. I'm interested definitely to try these pistachio ones, and super excited to try those brown butter chocolate chip cookies. All right, friends, we'll be back here in a little bit. Okay, friends, so the timer went off on that butter sugar mixture that we had creamed together, And so now it is cooled, so we're gonna get to put the rest of these cookies together now. So I'm gonna grab my spatula right here. I'm still blown away, friends, at how good this butter mixture smells. I may never go back to regular chocolate chip cookies ever again. All right, so now we need 1 3/4 cup of flour. There is 1. There we go. I need 1/8 of a teaspoon. Well, now I've done lost things. There we go. 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking powder. And a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And salt. And then our chocolate chips. Go ahead and put a lid on these. And I need 3/4 cup of chocolate chips. This mixed together. All right, friends, that is it. That cookie dough is all finished now. And it smells so good. So we're going to get this chilling, and we're going to go ahead, while this is in the refrigerator chilling, I'm going to go ahead and scoop up the other 2 cookie doughs to put in the freezer and get them ready to go. All right, friends, I am going to go ahead and put these cookies in the oven. They have been chilling enough. So I've got 4 of the pistachio, I've got 3 peanut butter, and then 4 of these brown butter chocolate chip cookies. And we got the oven preheating right now, and as soon as that's ready, we're going to put these in the oven at 350 degrees, I think, for, let's see, these say cook time is 8 minutes for the chewy peanut butter, 10 to 13, and 12 minutes. So we're going to do probably, we're going to stick with the 8 minutes since these are smaller than probably what they're going to say, and go from there. All right, I will bring y'all back in when these are out of the oven and we can try them. Okay, friends, so there is our cookies. We've got our peanut butter cookies, our white chocolate chip pistachio, and our brown butter chocolate chip cookies. Now, I did go ahead and cook these up, so I've got the brown butter ones here. I'm going to give these a try. There is a warning on her recipe that says once you try them, you'll never go back. So let's find out. Okay. They're really good. Don't get me wrong. They're really good. But I don't find that the brown butter gives it that much of a different flavor than regular chocolate chip cookies, or at least not the ones I grew up eating with my mom making. But they're still really, really good. Very soft, very chewy. Very good. Okay. I am not going to try the peanut butter ones. Those are not my favorite cookie. Those are for my husband, so I'm just going to leave them be. But I'm going to try these chocolate chip pistachio. Now remember, we half the recipe for the flour, so it's 3/4 cup almond flour to 1 cup of regular flour. Or I think we use coconut flour. I'm sorry, coconut flour. So let's give these a try. Okay. These are really good. Actually, these are really, really good. The coconut flour, you don't really taste it so much. You've just kind of got like a back flavor hint of coconut. But these are really good. I really like these. Okay, out of the 3 cookies we made today, this one's my favorite. Which doesn't surprise me. Alright, so thank you for joining me today, friends. If you found this fun and you want to follow along, please like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.